Hello everyone. In the previous class, we were discussing about integration testing. We have discussed the definition of integration testing. Integration testing means testing the interactions between the models, and the interaction with the other systems externally is called as integration testing, and it is divided as two types. One is integration testing as a type of testing, and another is integration testing as a phase of testing. In the previous class, we have discussed about integration testing as a type of testing. Within this, we have discussed four types of testing, integration testing types, that is top-down integration, bottom-up integration, bidirectional integration, and system integration. These are the four different testing techniques of integration testing as a type of testing. Today we will see integration testing as a phase of testing. Integration testing as a phase of testing. See here, integration testing as a phase of testing starts from the point where two components can be tested together to the point where all the components work together as a complete system, delivering system or product functionality. In the integration testing phase, the focus is not only on whether functionality of the components work well, but also on whether they work together and deliver subsystem and system functionality. Therefore, the integration testing phase focuses on finding defects which arise because of combining various components for testing, and should not be focused on for components or few components. All testing activities that are conducted from the point where two components are integrated to the point where all system components work together are considered a part of the integration testing phase. Now we will see the types, that is the scenario testing. What is meant by scenario testing? Scenario testing is defined as a set of realistic user activities that are used for evaluating the product. Here, set of realistic user activities means what are the activities user is going to do. These activities we are going to evaluate is called as scenario testing, and it contains two methods. One is a system scenario and another is use case scenario or role based scenarios. We'll see the first one, system scenarios. System scenario is a method whereby the set of activities used for scenario testing covers several components in the system. See here, in the system scenario, we are going to use one method. Here this method contains the set of activities, and these activities used for scenario testing, and it covers many components in the system. We will see the approach can be used to develop the system scenarios. Which are the approaches we can use to develop the system scenarios? Total 5 approaches are there. One is storyline, second one is life cycle, third is deployment, fourth is business verticals, fifth is battleground. We will see one by one. First one is storyline. Here we need to develop a storyline that combines various activities of the product that may be executed by an end user. A user enters his or her office, logs into the system, checks mail, responds to some mails, compiles some programs, performs unit testing, and so on. All these typical activities are carried out in the course of normal work when coined together become a scenario. Now the second one is life cycle or state transition. In the life cycle or state transition, here it will transfer from one state to another state. See here, consider an object. For example, consider an object, derive the different transitions or modifications that happen to the object, and derive scenarios to cover them. We will take an example. In a savings account, we can start with opening account. We can start with opening an account with a certain amount of money. We can deposit, we can do the withdrawal, we can calculate the interest, and so on. All these activities are applied to the money object, and the different transformation applied to the money object becomes different scenarios. See here, life cycle or state transition. Here money is a object. Based on money we are going to do the transition. That is, first money means we are going to deposit the money into the account. We can withdraw the money from the account and we can calculate the interest on the money. Like this, different states are there on the same object. This is about life cycle and state transition. Next is deployment or implementation stories from the customer. Develop a scenario from a known customer, deployment or implementation details, and create a set of activities by various users in that implementation. Next one is business verticals. Here in the business vertical, we need to see how a product or software will be applied to different verticals, that is different business verticals, and create a set of activities as scenarios to address specific vertical businesses. Here we need to see the different types of tests make the product multi-purpose. In business verticals, we need to visualize the product in a multi-purpose or in a multi-way. And the last one is battleground. In the battleground, create some scenarios to justify that the product works and some scenarios to try and break the system to justify the product does not work. This is about system scenarios. Now we will see use case scenarios. First we will see the definition of use case scenario. A use case scenario is a stepwise procedure on how a user intends to use a system with different user roles and associated parameters. A use case scenario is a step-by-step procedure. Here, how the user is going to use a system. Here, user means customer or actor. How the user is using the system with different user roles. Here, different roles means sometimes he may act, for example, consider sometimes a user may act in a bank. He may be a customer, he may be a manager, or he may be a technician. Like this, user may act in different roles. A use case scenario can include stories, pictures, and deployment details. Use case scenarios term the users with different roles as actors. What the product should do for a particular activity is called as a system behavior. Users with a specific role to interact between actors and the system are called as agents. See here, users are called as actors and the activity we are doing with the product is called as a system behavior, and users with a specific role to interact between actor and the system are called as the agents. All of you see in the slide here, this diagram denotes the use case diagram. This is a use case diagram. Here three users are there. One is a customer and another is a ATM technician and another is a bank. These are the three users and one system, that is a bank ATM is a one system. Here the interaction between the user and the system is called as the use case scenario. Interaction between user and the system. Who are the users here? Customer, technician and bank. These three are the users. These three users are interacting with the bank ATM. Means here bank ATM is a system. Combinedly this is called as a use case scenario. See here what are the operations you can do on the bank ATM system. Here operations or processes are denoted with the oval shape. Check balances, deposit funds, withdraw cash, transfer funds, maintenance, repair. These are the operations on the bank ATM system. Here these operations can be done by the use of the system. Who are the users? Customers, ATM technician and bank. These three are the users. See here, customer can check the balances through the bank. Customer can deposit the funds with the help of bank. Customer can withdraw cash with the help of bank. Customer can transfer the funds from one account to another account with the help of the bank. In the same way, here ATM technician maintain the ATM machine with the help of the bank. In the same way, ATM technician can repair the ATM machine whenever necessary with the help of the bank. Means here we are going to transact with the ATM machine. Means this is a system. We are going to do the interactions with the help of the system scenario and use case scenario. And this question is important for 5 marks. Now we will see the defect bash. What is meant by defect bash? Here defect bash is an ad hoc testing technique where people performing different roles in organizations to test the product together at the same times. What is meant by ad hoc testing? Ad hoc testing, it is performed without planning and documentation. These tests are executed only once. This is called as ad hoc testing. And what is meant by defect bash? Defect bash is an ad hoc testing, means without planning we are going to do. Here people are performing different roles in the organization to test the product together. Means here people are testing the product combinedly at the same time. Now we will see what are the good practices of the defect bash hours. Here the first one is to cross boundaries and test beyond assigned areas. Means here we need to enable people. Here we need to enable people to cross the boundaries and test beyond assigned areas. Means here we need to test valid as well as invalid data. Next, second one is not for testers alone. Means here we need to bring the people performing different roles together in the organization for testing. Means we need to bring the developers, designers, all the people of the company or all the people of the organization to testing. Therefore testing is not for only testers. And the third one is eat your own dog food. Means letting everyone in the organization use the product for the delivery. If everyone is using the product in the organization before the delivery, means all can identify the defects in the product. This is called as eat your own dog food. Fresh eyes bias. Bringing fresh pairs of eyes to uncover new defects. Means new to the system or a product, they can find out the more defects in a product. That's why we need to bring the fresh pairs of eyes to uncover the defects. Means fresh eyes have less bias. Fifth one is users of software are not same. See here we need to bring the different type of people who have different levels of product understanding to test the together randomly. See here bringing in people who have different levels of product understanding to test the product together randomly. Means users of software are not same. Some users are blind, some users are physically handicapped, therefore some users are educated, some users are uneducated, therefore users of the systems are not same. We need to develop such a system that all users can use your system. And the sixth one is, does testing wait till all documentation is done? Let testing does not wait. Here testing will not wait until the documentation is done. Here we need to test in all the phases of the life cycle. That is, let testing does not wait for lack of time taken for documentation. Here we can do the testing at every phase of the software development life cycle. Seventh one is, testing is not to conclude the system works or doesn't. Means here we need to enable the people to say system works as well as enabling them to break the system. Means here we are going to do the positive testing as well as negative testing. Here positive testing means here we are testing a product based on the positive values. Here we are checking the system is working, how the system will work by giving the positive values. And what is negative testing? By providing the negative values also, your system should not break, your system work. Like this we need to test the system. This is all about the good practices of the defect bash. Now we will see the steps of the defect bash. Total 6 steps are there. The first step is choosing the frequency and duration of the defect bash. Here defect bash is an activity involving a large amount of effort and an activity involving huge planning. Here large amount of effort means it involves large number of people, and huge planning means as it is an evident from the different types of steps. Here defect bash is an activity involving a large amount of effort and an activity involving huge planning. Frequent defect bash low return on investment. Duration is also an important factor. Optimizing the small duration is a big saving as a large number of people are involved. On the other hand, if the duration is small, the amount of testing that is done may not meet the objective. Therefore, we need to choose the frequency and duration of the defect bash. We'll see the second one now. Selecting the right product build means we are considering the quality of the product here. Since the defect batch involves a large number of people, effort and planning, a good quality is necessary for defect batch. A good quality build means a good quality product is needed for the defect batch, where people are involved. A good quality product or build gives confidence on the product and progress. We will see the third one. The third one is communicating the objective of the defect bash. Even though defect bash is an ad hoc activity, what is meant by ad hoc activity? Ad hoc activity means it is performed without planning and documentation, and these ad hoc activities are done only once. Even though defect bash is an ad hoc activity, its purpose and objective have to be very clear. Since defect bash involves people performing different roles, the contribution they make has to be focused towards meeting the purpose and objective of defect bash. The objective should be to find a large number of uncovered defects. Therefore, we need to communicate with the objective of the defect batch. Next, fourth one is setting up and monitoring the lab. Here, defect batches are planned short-term and resource-intensive activities. It makes sense to set up and monitor a laboratory for this purpose. Finding out the right configuration, resources. What are the resources? Hardware, software, and set of people to perform defect batch. These are the activities that have to be planned carefully before a bash actually starts. And the next one is taking actions and fixing issues. That is, the fifth one is taking actions and the issues. Here we need to take the necessary and corrective actions. We need to take the necessary and corrective action after the defect bash. Getting a large number of defects from users is the purpose and also the normal end result from the defect bash. Many defects could be duplicate defects. However, different interpretations of the same defect by different users and the impact of the defect showing up differently in different places make them difficult to be called duplicates. Means here we need to avoid the duplications. Now we will see the sixth one, that is optimizing the effort involved in defect batch. Here a defect batch involves a large number of people. Spending much effort is normal for conducting the defect batches. There are several ways to optimize the effort involved in defect batch if a record of objectives and outcome is kept. Here another approach to reduce the defect batch effort is to conduct the micro level defect batches, conducting one on a large scale. And the optimizing the effort involved in defect bash are classified in three types, that is the component defect bash, integration defect bash, and the product defect bash. Future or component defect bash, integration defect bash, and the product defect bash. Here we can calculate the defect bash, that is we can calculate the defect bash in the optimizing the effort involved in defect bash. Here we can calculate the effort also, we can calculate the effort saved by the people. This is all about the defect